Good morning, SRC members. Hope all of you are safe, healthy, and fine. So I'm going to give the SRC presentation on my topic, adaptive observer design without persistence of excitation. So first, what is adaptive observer? So before starting with the things, I just want to mark that I have marked red color to the quantities which are unknown. So if we consider CISO LTI systems, so here plant parameters and the states are unknown, but the information about the input and output are unknown. So if our objective lies to estimate the plant parameters and the state, so the solution lies with the adaptive observer. So with time, a number of papers on adaptive observer have been come, but I have considered and listed a few important ones. So people gave adaptive observer design for CISO systems, nonlinear systems, and MIMO systems. But a thing is common in all these designs that all these schemes guarantee parameter and the state convergence only when the control is persistently exciting, which is a restrictive condition. Now, what is persistence of excitation? So, going by the definition of tau, so a vector phi is said to be persistently exciting if the following mathematical inequality follows, which says that the square matrix phi into phi transpose is positive definite by integrating it uh, upon a time window of finite length t and shifting the time window in forward direction for all time. So this positive definite condition can be transformed to the ring sufficiency condition, which says that if the signal is persistently exciting, so this matrix phi into phi transpose is ring sufficient, and it allows the signal to explore the whole of the n-dimensional state space, which is very crucial in getting the information about the unknown parameters. So, with a motive of relaxing persistence of excitation condition, a new concept called initial excitation is being given by Roy et al. So the benefit of this excitation that unlike persistence of excitation, the excitation is only required to be in the initial time window, and even then the parameter convergence is ensured. So if we look upon the definition, the same vector phi t is said to be initial excitation if this matrix phi into phi transpose is positive definite in the initial time window, means the excitation requirement is only in the initial time window. So these are the some features of the IE condition, as it is evident from the definition itself. Since excitation requirement is only in the initial time window, so signal is spin the entire n-dimensional state space in the initial time, that is the transient time. And from the definition, it is obvious that since it does not depend upon the future behavior of the signal like precondition, so it is online verifiable. And lastly, and the important thing, that these signals are basically finite signals. They contain finite amount of energy. So if we summarize, so the existing adaptive observer schemes, they guarantee simultaneous convergence of state estimation error and error, parameter estimation error, but they cannot guarantee convergence in the absence of PE condition. So the objective of my research is to relax this PE condition for the design of the adaptive observer. So now a CISO LTI system is considered where plant parameters and the states are unknown, while U and Y, that is the information about input and output, is known. So this is the perfect platform for adaptive observer uh, design. So some assumptions are considered. That first one is that the plant is controllable and observable, and the system given into is in observable canonical form. And another important assumption, which is a standard assumption in the adaptive observer design, is that the U is a stabilizing controller, such that state and the controller are bounded. So since we have considered our observable canonical form, so important to note that the first column of the system matrix and B vector are unknown. So there are two n unknown parameters which need to be identified. I mean, out of n square plus 2n parameters for observable canonical form, we need to identify only 2n unknown parameters. So if we follow the following conditions, an equivalent representation of the system given in previous slide can be represented by 4, where G is chosen to be Hurwitz, and it can be seen that theta y depends upon the first column of the matrix A, which is unknown, and theta u is just the replica of the matrix B. So we can say that theta y and theta u are the unknown parameters which needs to be identified. So an obvious choice of the adaptive observer can be given by 5, where theta y hat and theta u hat are the respective estimates of theta y and theta u. And then we define various estimation errors. Now objective is all these estimation errors should go to 0 as time goes to infinity. So this is the objective of adaptive observer. So Kriselmeyer gave the concept of parameterized observer, for which he introduced 2N low pass filters, which are the function of the known signals input and output. And since these are linear low pass filters, so we can follow the superposition principle to get the state estimation given by 7. So it is not a straightforward. If you want to go in, know that how this equation came, you can refer to this paper given by Kriselmeyer. So the important thing to note about 7 is that the state estimate is a direct function of, is linearly dependent upon the parameter estimate. And XF is the regressor, and it can be computed online since it depends upon the known signals input and output. And theta is the concatenated version of theta y and theta u. So it is a 2n dimensional vector composing of the system matrix column A and B matrix. So now we need to identify this theta basically. So output estimate can be derived easily. So here YF is called the vector regressor of dimension 2n, and it can be computed online because C is known and XF can be, as I have already discussed in the previous slide, can be computed online. And the expression for output estimation error can be given by 9. So it's a very crucial relationship for the design of the parameter update law. So uh, 10 is the adaptive law, which has been achieved by Lyapunov direct matter, and in this way we have achieved to get the vector regressor based adaptive observer, since the regressor we are considering is a vector. Now come to matrix regressor based adaptive observer. So this concept was given by Kriselmeyer, and after that it's being used by Jenkins some years back. And what we have to do in matrix regressor, that we need to filter out, we need the filtering of consecutive filtering of two signals. One is this output, as we can see 11 is a low pass filter equation. So consecutive filtering of this output and the output of these filters being concatenated to get this augmented output as given by 12. The dimension is q, where q is any number which is greater than 1. And another filtering or consecutive filtering is been done for vector regressors. So to get q minus 1 filter vector regressors in the similar fashion as we have done for output. So it's taking this vector regressor, we get the matrix regressor YF, where YF0 is considered to be YF as we have discussed before. Now, following the similar lines as in case of vector regressor, matrix regressor, for matrix regressor, following estimation law, parameter update law can be achieved using Lyapunov direct method, where EY is the augmented output estimation error, which can be computed online. Now, come to the definition of the strong I condition. So this condition of excitation is being introduced by me. Here the vector signal is being replaced by a matrix, and as we have seen in the previous slides, that this matrix is a concatenated version of the filter regressor, or in other words, it is a bank of vector regressor, and hence intuitively uh, this condition will satisfy much earlier as compared to I and obviously P. So it is a much milder than previously defined I condition, and given the name strongly initially exciting. So it's very much similar to initially exciting. Only thing that vector is being replaced by a matrix with an motive to satisfy this condition a bit earlier. So the adaptive observer design with this excitation scheme will intuitively will be faster, and we will verify it when we see the simulation. Now we'll revisit the output equation. We see that in addition to theta, initial condition is also unknown. So if we further parameterize it, so W is basically the modified vector regressor of dimension 3, and earlier it was 2n. And now this theta is basically the concatenated version of the original plant parameters and the initial condition. So this exercise is being done to get a strong stability result, which we will see when we'll do the stability analysis in the preceding slides. So following, as we have already discussed, that matrix regressor is to be for developing matrix regressor, we need to filter out vector regressor. So here this W is being filtered out consecutively, and again stacking them uh, uh, at a place, we can get this matrix regressor WSI. So its dimension is 3n to q, where q is any positive number. So similarly, as discussed before, augmented output can be achieved like this. So yes. Now to get rid of the PE condition, so a second layer of filter is proposed, inspired from a paper given by Roy et al. So here WFF is basically called the filtered regressor, because this equation is like a low pass filter, and it is a function of the regressor. That's why it is called filter regressor. So it is a square matrix of dimension 3n cross 3n. So if we solve 22 and 23, we get this expression 24, which is very crucial in the design of the adaptive law. Now, if we look at the solution of the filter regressor, basically two properties are surfaced, which are very important to see. That one is this filter regressor WFF is a positive definite function of time, and secondly, whatever the information it gathers about the system parameter is decays exponentially by this factor GFF, and for this reason in literature it is also called as the forgetting factor. Now the thing and the question is that how to sustain this information, since it is decaying exponentially in absence of PE conditions. So this motivates to go for switching. So basically in switching, we capture the information rich transient signal and use it for all future time. So that the information decay does not affect the performance, and in the process make over for the absence of P. Now this is simply the strong I condition on the matrix regressor WSI. So this is very crucial and the cornerstone of the proposed work, which ensures global uniformly exponential stability in the absence of P condition. Now come to the online verification of this SIE condition. So basically, there are two lemmas given by Roy et al. For IE condition. So following the similar lines, online verification of SIE can be done. So in a way, so lemma one says that necessary and sufficient condition for this matrix regressor to be strongly IE is that this filter regressor is positive definite. And second lemma says that once this filtered regressor is positive definite, it will remain positive definite for all time except at time goes to infinity. So we need to track the determinant of the filtered regressor. So once it is determinant is positive, we can say that SI condition on this matrix regressor WSI is satisfied. Now this is the parameter estimation law. Here L1 and L2 are the terms being derived from gradient descent method. LSI is the initial excitation term which has been introduced by me, and Q and P are basically the captured value of WFF, that is the filter regressor, and UF respectively. So basically, this is the beauty of switching. When we do the switching, we capture the information of WFF in Q and UF in P. Now, this signal, switching signal S is very crucial in bringing this LSI or the initial excitation term in the update law when SIE condition is satisfied. So going by the theorem, so for the system I am mentioned in equation 2, if the triplet ABC is controllable and observable, that is the system is controllable and observable. And if the assumption of bounded controller and observability condition holds, the parameter estimation error is globally uniformly Lyapunov stable. And further, when the SIE condition is satisfied, which is this assumption 3, then theta tilde converges exponentially, as can be seen from this equation 31. Now, going into the stability analysis, let us consider a Lyapunov function candidate, which is a function of parameter estimation error, and it satisfied this mathematical inequality given by 33. So there are two cases. One is when switch is open, that is when I condition is not satisfied. So if we look upon the expression of V dot, that is the derivative of the Lyapunov function. So we see from 34 and 35 that V dot is negative semi-definite. So we can say that till the I condition, SI condition is not satisfied, theta tilde is uniformly globally stable. Now, the second case, when switch is closed, that is when the initial excitation term is brought in. So if we look at equation 36. So V dot is basically negative definite, as lambda min is positive because it is the minimum eigenvalue of Q, and Q is the captured value of the filter regressor when SI condition is satisfied, which is positive definite at that time. So since this is the captured value of positive definite matrix, so it has to be positive. So here beta is positive. So here we can say that V dot is negative definite, and it is exponentially convergent. So it can be seen as it's proved that theta tilde is uniformly globally exponentially stable in a delayed sense. So why I've used this word delayed sense? Because this initial condition, initial time is being replaced by this delay given by TSI, which is the time since till the IE condition is satisfied. That's why it's been called in a delayed sense. Now, to validate the developed adaptive observer algorithm, I've considered a second order system. So here, two things which needs to be noted. One is that there is an initial condition mismatch since x0 and x0 are different. And secondly, an important thing, that ut is an exponentially decaying function of time, which signifies that it is not a PE signal but a SIE signal. Now, simulation, coming to the simulation results. So this is an important plot showing the parameter estimation error. So once here we can see once the SIE condition is satisfied at about 1.2 seconds, the estimation errors, the parameter estimation error and the initial condition estimation error converges, and at about 10 seconds, the estimates approaches to their true values. And similarly, the state estimation error is also converges asymptotically. And this is a very important plot. This plot shows comparative chart of norm of parameter estimation error, and it validates the efficacy of newly introduced SIE condition and the initial condition estimate. As claimed, SIE condition is satisfied way earlier than the IE condition. It can be seen that SIE condition is satisfied much earlier than IE condition, and it offers a faster response. As we can see, the transient response, it shows a better response. So it offers a faster response. Also, since initial condition is estimated, theta tilde is exponentially convergence. Uh, hadn't we estimated this initial condition, we could have only get the UUB result. So also in the absence of IE condition, A is non-convergence, as it can be verified from here. So this is the contribution of that I have introduced initial condition estimator for adaptive observer, and I showed UGS, that is exponential stability, by imposing a milder and novel strong initial excitation condition on the regressor. So my future work includes, I just want to extend this result to MIMO systems and non-linear systems, and then try to solve some control problem. So these are the publications, the two papers been published, and the present work I have just shown with application to battery management system is now we have submitted it to ACC, and that's it. Thank you. So if there are any questions and feedback, I would love to get them. Thank you.